Let's take a trip down memory lane and spill all of the small town tea. I'm your host, KP Parker, and this is Town Gossip. Hello, you little devils. Welcome to another episode of Town Gossip. You're in the right spot if you want towns and the gossip that's inside of them. We have a rip-roaring ep for you today. We are joined with the very funny Max Zavidow. Hello, Max Zavidow, who is from New Jersey. New Jersey, a little state that I happen to be born in. I'm from there. I lived there the first 2 years of my life, maybe the best 2 years of my life. I can't remember a thing, which must mean it was hitting. Life was good there. I was from a little town called Cherry Hill. Hello, I'm wearing a Cherry shirt for those of you that are just listening. I was from Cherry Hill, and from the pictures, again, I have no memories. From the pictures, it seemed like we were kind of a cutesy little outdoors family at the time, which is not maybe my experience once I started having memories. I wouldn't ascribe camping, fishing, sun, beach, shine, anything really to my family. We were really indoors. My mom never took us camping, and her one reasoning was there is nowhere to plug my blow dryer in. And that's true. She needs a curling iron. I've never, ever, ever been to a spot where my mother has not had a curling iron within 4 feet of her. And that's Texas, baby. That's her. But I have camped later in life, and a recent camping trip that I really think was memorable and maybe says a lot about me was camping in the desert in California. I was with my boyfriend at the time. We decided to get a little something called a hip camp, where you can just like get on somebody's plot of land and pop up and camp. We get there. The guy that welcomes us has a full snake on his shoulders. He says, "Come on in." Full snake, like Britney Spears. Snake upon him. I thought it was like a prop at first, because how often in this world do you see a man with a live snake? But I saw one that day. We get set up. Instantly, they bring us a frothy cappuccino, like a cold, beautiful little frothy frappuccino. And this is where I start to be like, oh, I should reflect, because the thing that is in people's head that is like, oh, I could get drugged or poisoned or something bad could happen to me. I don't think like that. And I should. There's nothing that's like, aside from a safe life that I've lived so far, that I should have survival skills, but I don't have them. I'm drinking anything they're giving me. If you're giving me a little fun cocktail, a little something with it, there was whipped cream on top. Maybe that's important to mention. There was whipped cream. Obviously, I'm drinking that. And throughout the trip, we actually decided to like elongate our stay because we were having so much fun at this little property. It was a full commune. There was newborn puppies rolling around. There was like family dinners, and it was turning into a scenario where I am like, oh, this is how you would join a cult. And it would be so easy. I was calling off of work. I was like, let's do one more day here, don't you think? And then I could have gone 7 more years and been like, oopsies, I've been isolated from my family for 7 years because I'm getting frappuccinos. And that's all it took to buy me into a cult. It was beautiful. I will say it was in that desert, specific to California, where there is already a cult, Scientology. That's like where they would hit people. Like the desert town where they take people to hit them. I've seen a lot of cult documentaries, but not enough apparently, because I'll still join one if you got a good enough drink to give me. That's my experience with New Jersey. A little roundabout there, but there's a New Jersey flair to what I said, I think, you know? And if you don't recognize it now, maybe our beautiful, effervescent guest will. Congratulations, people. We are joined by the very, very funny Max Zavidow. Hi, Max.
Hello. So good to be here.
Max.
It's an honor, really.
Really?
Yes, I'm stoked to be here.
I know you wouldn't say it unless you meant it.
Yeah, long time follower of your TikTok.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Quite enjoy it.
Thank you for being here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you knew that I was a New Jersey girl.
I did not.
Kind of a
That's
reveal.
news. That was news to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of like central south. So I would say north central.
Yeah.
North central.
Because my dad at the time worked in Philly, so it must be kind of south, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh no,
Cherry
Cherry
Hill?
Hill. Sorry, when I think Cherry Hill, because you said Voorhees, and I was thinking of
Born in Voorhees, then
I was thinking of
lived.
Short Hills.
Okay.
You had a different hill.
It was one hill.
It was one hill.
It was just the one hill.
I was thinking of the Short Hills. You were on the Cherry Hill.
Yes. And then I know I haven't been back since, except my bus from Philly the other week passed through there. So I got to see some maybe repressed memories,
Was there any deja vu hitting you? Anything that you swore you had seen?
It was almost a town almost completely chain restaurants.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So I recognized some stuff.
Yeah.
But there was a cute little root beer. Whoa.
I felt
Look
that.
at us.
That was cool.
Right? There's kind of nothing to say except root beer pop. So that was kind of the only thing I saw from my bus. But again, no memories there.
Yeah.
I heard it was fine.
And
fine.
Isn't it kind of a haunting thing to go through a place you've been and you've spent time and yet there's nothing in your mind?
What if I was on that root beer shop counter meeting the shop girl and she changed my diaper?
She might have.
She could have.
You might have pooped in that shop.
What if I shit all over Cherry Hill?
What if you PPE'd in that shop?
Bang. Get ye old boop. Yeah, that was me. But you're northern or central?
Always north. Always north.
Always north.
Always north, on the move from time to time, but always north.
Okay, so we did elementary early years in...
I started in Demorest.
Okay.
I was born in Manhattan.
Sure.
City that never sleeps. Oh, shit. And
yes.
I was born in Manhattan, and then when I was about a year old, we moved to Demorest, which is a town in Bergen County, New Jersey.
Okay.
I was there from the time I was born until I was going into 5th grade. We moved to Hillsdale, and I was in Hillsdale from 5th grade through freshman year of high school, and then for sophomore, senior, and junior year. And I have no respect for the hierarchy of the order of the grades.
No.
I was in Tenafly.
Okay, so Hillsdale felt like a big chunk, like a coming of age, perhaps.
Hillsdale was definitely a coming of age, and then I feel like I learned a lot about myself in Tenafly.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a high school is.
Yeah,
things are happening.
You really do learn quite a bit about yourself, and then I think in college you keep learning, and then if you're lucky, you graduate and you just continue to learn about yourself.
Yeah, I kind of I'm gonna keep it going. I really like learning.
I love learning about myself.
Yeah, I think I'm regressing. Some things I'm like, oh, I thought I was better than that.
And I'm not. Where are you regressing?
I think...
If that's not...
No, this is a therapy talk show.
Okay.
We're getting into it.
That's not impolite.
I think I'm regressing in spiralization. I can spiral a little. I kind of got rid of it for a while. I was like, oh, I don't spiral anymore about things. And then I'm living alone now again. And I'm like, we're spiraling again, mama. We're spiraling.
Do you have any tips or tricks to halt the spiral?
I was told to set a timer. Allow the spiral to happen, and then it's done. And so I've been doing that a little. I get 25 minutes to spiral, and then
I was actually gonna say 15 would be funny.
I should wean down.
I think but not immediately. Work your way down, but
just immediately go to 2 minutes of intense spiraling.
Yeah, you can't walk afterwards. You're hyperventilating.
Jelly legs.
Okay, but you're done now. You're done. The time is done.
Yeah, that'll be good for me. So far, 25. Yeah, I do lose interest in the middle of it sometimes.
That's great,
which is good,
because you're like,
right?
oh, I guess I don't need 25 minutes.
Yeah,
I think that's
kind
of cool to have more time than you need.
Yeah.
Because it'd probably be a bummer if you're at 25 minutes, you're like, I'm not even close.
No, I can go forever. That's the thing.
That's the YU Institute.
But 25 is right for right now. And I am also addicted to Spider Solitaire on my phone. So that's been helping because in the middle of 25 minutes, I start itching for a Spider Solitaire game.
Yeah.
The spiral stops.
People always forget about the positive effects of addiction.
Truly? I'm fiending for a game, and then I forgot that I'm lost in my life.
That you're really scared.
Yeah.
Scared.
I'm scared. I'm
scared.
a little bit scared.
Yeah, sometimes I pronounce words weirdly.
That's that Demarest flair. Was it hard being a new kid, or did you use that to your advantage of like, you guys are going to really like what you're seeing here?
It was, so it was actually interesting because when I moved to Hillsdale for middle school, that was the first year of middle school for everyone, was 5th grade in that town.
Yep.
And so it was 2 schools coming together within the town to make one middle school. There was Anne Blanche Smith and Meadowbrook.
May God rest her soul.
May God rest Blanche's soul. Anne Blanche.
Anne Blanche.
It was actually the elementary school that my mom went to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you have deep New Jersey roots.
Deep New Jersey roots. We lived in the house for 5 years that my mom grew up in.
Okay.
And so when I started at the middle school, everyone from Meadowbrook thought that I was from Smith, and everyone from Smith thought that I was from Meadowbrook. So I kind of just got to slot in really nicely.
You're just like, I've always been here. You just never met me.
Yeah.
Great.
And I was really fast.
Oh.
And I was good at basketball. So
great.
I had no problems in middle school.
Honestly, the coolest thing you could do in middle school was be good at basketball.
Yeah.
I really think it was like somehow middle school was the age of basketball.
Yeah.
And then I think high school was more football. For
us,
at least.
Definitely football.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Basketball kind of fell off.
Well, once we got to high school, I started running. So it really, which is where the fast came in.
Yeah. You were cross country.
Cross country.
Okay. Yeah.
But it was in middle school, it was not hard to be the new kid. in high school, I came in sophomore year, so people maybe were a little bit more settled. But I went to that school because my cousin went there.
Oh, okay.
And he wanted me to join his friend group. He was like, oh, like sit with us at lunch, come to our parties. And I was like, I just know your friends will probably not be my friends.
Yeah.
Not that I don't respect them. Not that I don't respect the invite. Thank you for always making me feel welcome, Brian. But I just had a gut feeling that there were probably people better suited for me. And so I held out, which made the first 6 months at that school pretty difficult. But that gave me the knowledge that when I went to college, that no, come on, it's okay. Bars. That when I got to college, if the first 6 months sucked, that was okay because it was normal, because the first 6 months can suck anywhere.
Yeah. And honestly, that is a good perspective that like some people didn't have, because it is like, oh, some people just had the same friends since they were 6, and then you have to go to college and you're like, who the fuck are these people?
What the fuck are you doing? Yeah. What do you want to eat lunch next to me, you freaking weirdo? You've never done that before.
You're not my best friend.
Yeah, you're not my best friend.
Well, it was did cross country help? Because then you're like, okay, I'm fast and you're my friends, because we're all doing it.
Sort of helped. It helped for me. It helped in the sense that obviously I like met some people who would become my friends, but really at first they were so much they were faster than me.
Yeah.
And the cross country
kids, you're trying to talk to them and you're way
I'm out of breath. But they were also such dorks in a good way.
Yes.
Like, so I was like, oh, you can be that fast and you can be so smart. I want to try to be that fast and that smart.
Yeah.
And I think it really helped my life, just like, because I just never tried that hard. I was coming off a rough experience in middle school, and I was just excited to try.
Yeah.
To really give it a go. And I had people to push me.
Did you do any of the arts and theaters?
No, my mom my mom was very supportive of that. I just never really expressed any interest in it.
Sure.
When I was in 8th grade, though, I was sent to stand-up comedy camp in Manhattan.
To be sent there is sort of...
Sorry, no, my mom let me go. I really wanted to. I was obsessed with like Aziz Ansari.
Oh my God, yeah.
And I really was getting into Joe Coy at the time.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, okay, like you have to do something this summer. So she sent me to stand-up camp.
And it was in New York?
It was in New York at Gotham Comedy Club.
Okay, fun.
And she would drive me in every morning, which was really sweet.
And she'd pick you up?
She'd pick me up. We would get pizza after class. I have a great mom. I have a really good mom.
Wow.
And but I was the only one at the stand-up comedy camp who was there because I love stand-up comedy. Everyone else was there because their parents wanted them to learn how to socialize better, how to speak better. And so I was running laps around these kids.
You're like, I'm fast again.
Yeah,
this is it.
I still have my joke notebook from 8th grade.
I bet some of it
has not aged well.
If you're kind of looking to Joe Coy back at the time, there was something.
Well, it was I think the jokes were technically pretty good for the time.
Totally.
But I would say the material, I would veer probably more conservative if that was the material I was coming up on stage with.
Yeah. Wow, Gotham Comedy Club as a kid. It's fun. It's fun. I remember my mom drove me into New York because there was an open casting call, which like,
oh, I thought you were going to say an open casket. And I was
there was an open casket that I really wanted to see. I was a little bit of a weird kid. They were burying Anne Blanche. I need to see Anne, my girl. It was an open casting call for like some Wes Craven movie or something.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Of Scream.
Yeah, I could have been.
Scream.
Yeah, I'm 74 years old.
So 74.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, Mom, this is my big break. I know I can book this.
So you always
I've done Seussical the Musical, so I know that I can book
Where'd you do Seussical the Musical?
In like a UHart, this college in Hartford.
Oh, wait, how old were you at the time?
10.
Oh, okay. So it was like, you were not at the college.
No. It was like a college program for kids musicals or whatever. But I was like, I loved theater since the second I could find it. So I was like, Mom, we have to go to this open casting call. And we get there. Every kid has a manager. And I'm rolling in with my mom. And salt and vinegar chips. That's all I had on me.
What kind?
Salt and vinegar. Oh, the kettle corn or kettle pop?
Kettle pop.
Yeah. They're really good. I mean, listen, the chips stand. The chips
that held up.
Everyone's got a manager. I'm going to each kid being like, hey, how's it going? Like, because I had this thing where I would instantly go, you're my best friend, which is sad.
Do you still do that?
No. Now I go, I'm
it's
mysterious.
Kind of beautiful.
I know. Yeah. I should go back to that.
Mystery's overrated.
And all these kids had headshots. Again, I had my school photo.
Yes.
Nothing. Did my monologue. God bless. Who knows what that was?
Yeah. Who knows what that was?
Probably from Titanic or something. And
never seen.
Oh. That's fine. You'll see it you'll get it when you get to it. No rush. And we got home and that was my first scenario where I was like, have they emailed yet? And like 7 months. And I'm like, surely they've what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
With
yeah,
7
that like
months
first
just
time
being
that you're
Mom,
like
what
just sitting with that anxiety.
Like, well, certainly they would call me back at least.
I can't believe Wes Craven died.
Wes, what's going on, man?
What's going on with Wes?
Let me write him a letter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was sort of the first intro into. Thank God I wasn't a child actor. I think that was the only thing I did. It seemed just too much stress for a little body. Too much.
We all find it at our own
We've got
times.
to go. You were kicking up Gotham though.
I was destroying Gotham.
Standing O's every day.
I had no, I don't even want to say the jokes because they're just really.
We'll imagine. Okay,
Yeah.
So we did that. We did cross country.
Yes.
And then in high school, you fell in with some friends.
My first race at Tenafly was against Pascack Valley.
Oh.
And I was so nervous. I got second place in the race, but I threw up afterwards. So much orange juice because that's all I had that morning. But I was flying, but I did throw up a lot of orange juice.
Because you saw old buds, or you
saw
people you used to
race? No, not because I was so excited. Just because I ran too hard.
Yeah.
I didn't run a smart race, and so I got to the end and I puked.
Sure, it still counts. They don't take away your medal if you puke.
They didn't give medals for those races. Yeah,
back in the good old days. Now they give participation trophies. Oh my god! Okay, and you fell in with friends though. You found your people.
Yeah, mostly from just like cross country and the classes that I was taking. They're still my best friends. One of them is staying on my couch right now. Not in like a long-term way. He's just in town.
Sure.
The other one just moved to my I don't know. They're all around and I love hanging out with them. It's very nice.
Yeah. It's nice
friendship is nice.
Be near. Friendship is nice. Hot take. It's nice to be near your hometown because I was in LA for 8 years, these past 8 years. So I haven't been near.
You were?
Yeah.
Oh, I did
just moved here.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I'm like 5 months in.
5 months in. Wow, welcome.
Thank you.
I used to live in LA as well.
Oh my God. I love LA.
For college.
Yeah. I loved LA, but it is like, oh, you're not seeing your hometown friends. Cheers.
Cheers.
You're not seeing your hometown friends much at all. And it was like, now that I'm back, I'm like, oh, now we've done a few breakfasts. And you're like, oh my God.
Life is wonderful.
Yeah. And some of them have kids, which is fun to like talk about. And
how many of them have kids?
2 now. One just gave birth last week.
Wow.
Shout out, little baby. Yeah. So it is like fun to just go meet for pancakes and then be like, oh, that was easier than like, oh, you have to plan a week-long trip to California to come see me.
Yeah. It's my friend called me the other day. He said, what are you doing tomorrow? I said, I'm getting dinner with you.
Okay. You were in high school. You said you were trying to be smart. Were you smart?
Did
you take like APs?
I did. I took some.
Yeah.
I cheated a lot in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cheated a lot in high school because I would take in my A push, advanced placement, U.S. history. It's fine. The tests were all multiple choice.
Oh yeah.
And the teacher after would give us our Scantrons back. I don't know if kids still use Scantrons. Give us the Scantrons back, and then we would go through the answers. Yeah. And then as we were going through them, I would just like erase the wrong answers and write the right ones in, and then he would let you write whatever your grade was at the top of the test.
Oh, okay.
And so I would go from like a 72 to a 94. I was not being subtle.
You're like, no, if I'm gonna cheat, I'm gonna go high risk.
But then I got a little cocky with it. Not with the teacher. I knew where the line was, like and how to do it. But there was a guy in the class who tried so hard, and he was a friend. He hated me so much because he would spend 2 weeks studying and get a 94. I wouldn't even open the book. Yeah. And we're walking out of there the same grade. And so he told the professor, not that I was cheating. But
some people here might be.
might be
we
doing
might
this.
Want to take the erasers away while we're doing this part.
So
it's fair, I guess.
I ended up finishing the class with a B+ because I got an A- first semester, second semester, B.
B+ is just fine.
Just fine, yeah.
AP US history also was like, that was hard. It was like known for being pretty hard.
And we did what we could.
Yeah.
We did what we could.
There was a guy that got really, really smart grades that was in my friend group. And we were all
really smart grades is
he got really smart grades.
Is maybe implying that you weren't getting the smartest grades.
I was where I needed to be. I wasn't failing anything. I was right where I needed to be. I just never did my homework, so I was always going to be doomed.
Really? What were you doing in high school that kept you preoccupied?
The theater.
Oh yeah, it's really hard. Like people, I wasn't in theater, but my friend was.
It was full-time job. Sorry. I was clocking
I'll let him say that. I'll give that to him.
I was clocking in at the drama factory.
But you know what made it a full-time job was not just the rehearsal. It was the like the sex that they were all having.
Drama.
Yeah, yes. It was the sex and the drinking and the lies and the scandal that just rocked seemingly every high school theater department.
This is why when I see Ariana and Cynthia acting,
Grande and Erva.
Yes, when I see them acting the way they're acting on this press tour, I go, if that ain't the way that it was. That is exactly what the musical was like. So I'm not gonna begrudge them that they're being so insane, holding each other's fingers, crying at nothing. I think it's fun. I think it's truly nutty bananas, 100%. But that's what it is. That's how the musicals felt.
That's what it is.
Sorry.
And how beautiful to hold on to that.
And they will not drop it.
Well, because
for 3 more years.
I don't know if I can't speak to Ariana, but
legally,
her personal life, but the man she's with right now, they kind of like both broke up marriages to be together, but that's how it is.
That is exactly how it is.
Would you get upset with Michael Jordan for slam dunking or Wayne Gretzky for scoring a goal? You wouldn't. And so you can't get upset when Ariana Grande cheats on her husband and breaks up a marriage and ruins a child's home life, because that's what she was born to do.
That I cheated on my guy with the guy that I had a stage kiss with. I was with a boyfriend, but I had a stage kiss.
Yeah.
And I told the boyfriend that I was with, I was like, I'm really sorry.
I bet he was really understanding.
I have to come clean. He really was.
No,
he really was.
Oh, he was?
I was like, cool. I have to come clean. I kissed this guy. And he was like, I know you kiss him in the play. And I go, like, hold on, babe. Yeah. It was after hours.
I also think it's great that you didn't take the out that he gave you. I think a lot of people would have gone, I did.
I know.
But I respect that deeply.
My friends knew about it, so it was like, he's gonna
know.
I gotta get in there. I'm so sorry. But it was, they're doing, it's textbook. You break up a relationship, you get involved with somebody in the production that's not even remotely related to what you're doing. You develop way too tight of a bond with somebody for years.
Then you have a pregnancy scare.
Don't drop the character. Don't drop the character once. And that is what you do it for. It's not for the audience. It's for you.
Yeah, cross country was not as sex charged. Until it was.
They're wearing short shorts.
I was wearing short shorts. I have what some would describe as the ideal feminine physique. And so you're seeing these hams walking around the track, jogging around. If you're a woman that's not sure what she likes, now you do.
Yeah.
Now you do.
Honestly, I do remember in high school the cross country pics, because they would take race photos or stuff. And it would be like when they released, we were all like,
I didn't know muscles were I didn't know you could have a muscle like that.
Because they're
not muscular,
scrawny,
but they're so scrawny.
But then you see them in the little bibs and the little shorts, and you're like, wait a second.
Biceps.
What the hell, this guy? And they all the cross country boys were shy, but that's why you got the sleeper builds. And then when you get it's like,
I wasn't shy in high school. But my friends definitely were.
Yeah.
I was just, I sometimes I'll say I'm built different, but very often I'm reminded I'm not.
Sure.
I think we're all built very similarly.
I think, yes, everyone's got the same stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think I'm getting a picture. I'm getting a vibe of the town.
Yeah.
Can I hear the town gossip?
You may. I wrote down a few things. I'll give you, I'll give you the high level of, or kind of like the names of each of them.
Yeah.
And
see which one piques me.
Yeah. Okay. So there is Crush You Like a Bug, National Anthem, Pooping in Urinals, Cake Batter with Nuts, Lactation, Food Fights, which kind of ties into some of the other one. There's Getting Escorted. There's Escortion. There's J-Line Singer. Ooh. There is Nazis, Concrete Monkeys, Fighting Pimp, and Handjobs Behind the Pizzeria.
Oh my God. I mean, this is a real buffet.
Some of them I'm involved in, but
okay.
Not, yeah.
I kind of wanted to start, I don't know, something about Cake with Nuts got me.
And I want to preface this by saying I was going through a lot at the time.
Yep.
I was going through a lot at the time. My father was in prison and my mom was in the hospital with a brain tumor.
Okay.
And my sister, unbeknownst to us, was being... No, it's not really mine to say on a podcast, but...
we'll get her on next time.
Yeah, we'll get her on. But I was just looking for any which way to lash out. And I do know that if I did this today, and probably then, it is a crime.
Oh, got it. Yep.
It is a crime.
Yep.
But I was in 8th grade in my science class, and we got assigned a project where everyone got a molecule, or is that what it's called? Like I got like carbon.
Oh, periodic element.
An element. Everyone got an element, and they had to make a cake and then dress the cake to look like the element.
Cute. Yes, we did one with a book. I did a snake cake.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I got the one that's like 2 electrons, 2 protons. Let's call it carbon. It's not.
Great.
And I go home and I'm making my cake, and like as I'm getting ready to prepare, I was watching Just Friends with Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis.
Yeah.
Which, wow.
I mean, we could have a whole separate hour on that.
We could have a whole separate hour on that.
Not as good as No Strings Attached.
I think better.
Really?
Better.
Okay.
The Natalie Portman v. Ashton
Kutcher vehicle?
Ashton Kutcher, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we'll figure that one out.
For that. So, in the movie, Justin Timberlake, Mila Kunis are talking about I think it was Justin Timberlake, was talking about a porn website, where girls would mix cake batter with their boobs.
Jesus.
And I was like, Eureka. A light bulb went off, and I said, how funny would it be if I dipped my nuts in the cake batter?
Oh my God.
Before I made the cake. And I did, and then I made the cake, and I dressed it up, and I brought it to class. And we laid out our cakes, and everyone's getting ready to hop on up, take a slice. And I told my best friend at the time, I said, come here, don't have my cake.
Skip that one.
Yeah, skip that one. And he said, why? And I said, I'll tell you in a second. And I told him it was because I had dipped my cake in the batter. And for like actually like a crime, like
definitely a crime, but
in 8th grade, not.
You just didn't think like that in 8th grade of the crime of it all.
Yeah, and this guy comes up to me and he goes, his name is James. He goes, Max, this cake is so good. I feel like I've had it before, and I was like, I assure you, you haven't.
You've had nothing like this.
I assure you,
I would know.
Yeah, I would know well.
Compliments to the chef.
And then, but because he was raving about my cake, people started to get excited, and everyone started going for my cake. There were cakes left untouched in favor
of your nut cake.
Of my nut cake. And then this guy comes up to me who joined the Marines. Thank you for your service.
Supporting our troops.
And he goes, Max, like everyone's talking about how good your cake is, but I have allergies, so I just want to check with you. Are there any nuts in this cake? And I said, you'll be okay. Because I'm not a liar. Because I'm not, because I would not say no.
Can't put that in court.
I would not tell a lie. You cannot perjure me.
I know my rights.
Yeah, and so he snagged a slice of the cake, and I'm sorry.
Yeah. And it's not even your fault. It's Justin Timberlake's fault.
It's Justin. You know what? I can't even pin that on him. He's the actor. He's a vehicle for whoever wrote that movie.
But he's not a good guy. Let's give this one to him.
Yeah, we can.
Justin, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
Justin, we're sorry.
Justin, I'm really sorry.
Would love to have you on.
Would love to have you here.
So that's the cake.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Man. It was fun. I did like those classes that would make you do something kind of creative to get it through.
Yeah.
And then you did something really creative.
I did performance art.
Yes.
I performance arted.
Yes.
Yeah. And people didn't know because I did not tell anyone about that I told Luch.
Yeah.
And maybe Luch told one person, but like people went years before finding out that they ate the cake.
My friends would narc. My friends were pretty goody two shoes.
Yeah.
I don't think I could
Holy shit. Well, that reminds me.
Oh, please.
Oh. When I was in kindergarten, there was this one guy, Justin, who was like the coolest guy in the grade.
Okay.
He rocked. Yeah. Everyone wanted to be friends with him. And one day we were like chatting with each other and we went to the bathroom and we were like, or he was like, let's pee on the wall. And I was like, Justin, literally would do anything for you.
Justin, you fucking madman. I love you.
Justin, you're an animal.
Justin, you freak. I'm obsessed.
Yeah. This guy was so cool that I did not bite my fingers. I never bit my fingernails. And he bit his fingers a lot. I have not bitten my fingers since I was in kindergarten. He gave me a nail biting. And I only did it because I was like, fuck, dude, he's so cool.
If Justin's pissing on walls and biting his fingers, I'm doing that.
So we pissed on the wall together and we were stoked about it. And then we go back to the cafeteria and we're like, we gotta tell Aaron. Aaron's gonna think this is so fucking funny. And we go to Aaron and we're like, we just peed on the wall. And he's like, that's really... And he just gets up and walks straight to the lunch aid. Like,
I don't give a shit how fucking cool that guy is. That's not okay.
Yeah. And then they came, and then we got called to the principal's office, but apparently there was another guy who was not in on it, Alex, who said he wasn't on it because he wanted to be included with Justin.
Oh my God. Justin had the craziest charisma I've ever heard of.
Yeah. People were like saying they were part of things and getting in trouble just to be associated.
I'll pretend I pissed on the wall to be around Justin. Oh my God.
Yeah. Can you imagine holding that much like natural?
And he's not even asking them to do it. They're just falling
we were
on
in the bathroom.
sword.
Yeah. I gladly peed on the wall.
Oh.
Alex gladly fell on his sword.
Wow.
And Aaron was so pissed off that he was not invited to pee on the wall with us that he ratted us out.
Next time, invite me to pee on the wall.
When we pee on the wall, I'll let you know.
And this was kindergarten?
This was kindergarten, yeah.
I mean, they're peeing every which way.
They're peeing everywhere.
Man.
Yeah.
Is Justin still cool?
I think so.
Damn,
I'll run into him around the city.
Yeah.
He has a very, what I would call, calming demeanor.
Sure.
Yeah. Just very self-assured, I would say. And maybe he would see this and say, Max, how mistaken you are.
And that would be the coolest thing he could do.
Yeah.
Is kind of set us right.
Yeah.
Okay, do I get to pick another?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
All right, do you know off the top of your head which one you want? Okay.
It was escort. Yeah.
The middle school I went to, George G. White Middle School, was an absolute like death pit for hope and joy.
Geez.
It was you would go in there day in and day out, and just horrible things were happening to everyone here, there, everywhere. Like being a part of this school was almost a curse.
Do you think it's the school or the age?
I know, because since then, insane things just keep happening.
Man,
but sometimes in a really good way, sometimes in a really scary way.
Okay.
But one day, my middle school class was so destructive that they started recording us during lunch. They would place cameras on the stage at lunch and record us to see like who was doing what.
Watching the tapes because you guys were so. We
would do food fights.
Yeah.
We were food fighting. Like that's something you would only see in Max Keeble's big move.
Yeah, no.
And we were literally, and it's not like we had like a chicken patty we had chicken parm for lunch some days.
Just messing the fucking place up.
Some days we had francese and they were just whipping these things.
Beautiful menu, by the way.
But it was always like in a way where like we couldn't afford good. So they wanted us. They were like, "Look, we're eating fancy,
and just eat it, and just don't throw it."
They're calling it chicken francese, and they're taking like a frozen chicken patty, and they're squeezing a lemon on it, and they're like,
something.
Enjoy.
Please don't throw it. Just whatever you do, don't throw this.
And I remember the first victim of the food fight was, and this is leading to the escort.
Please.
But the first victim of the food fight, one day, this kid Robbie took his chicken parm and he whipped it in the air, and it hit this girl in the face who was sitting alone reading a book, who was most well known. This woman was most well known as the girl who had fuzzy socks, who would wear fuzzy socks, and he just whipped her with a chicken parm.
Did he mean to, or he was just
I don't think he meant to hit her.
Indiscriminately throwing.
I mean, things like people were pooping in urinals. It was me. I pooped in the urinals.
Somebody somewhere.
Kids were getting hand jobs behind pizzerias.
It was me.
That was also me. But like kids were getting detention. Kids were getting like threatened by the teachers. Also me. But the last day of school, they were scared what we would do once we graduated. So and the reason that they were scared what we would do is because a couple days before we graduated, one of the students told the teacher that he would kill her.
And so that's kind of gives you an idea.
And he did call her.
Go on now.
Dyke.
Yeah.
Called her a Dyke.
Yeah.
And she was married to a man, and she pointed that out to him, and he said, "Don't buy it." These kids, like they were razor sharp.
Nothing to lose. There's an attitude of just simply nothing.
A lot of the kids in this town had absolutely nothing to lose.
So I dare you, take it.
And his twin brother, the next day, threw a garbage can down the stairs at that teacher.
My God.
Yeah, they were operating.
That was a familial revenge plot.
And so they were scared what we would do. And so they brought police officers to our classroom when the bell rang. So when the bell rang, we didn't have our High School Musical.
Yeah.
We didn't, papers were not thrown.
There was cops,
were escorted out by the police to the outside and set free. They did not want us. Yeah.
And don't come back.
Don't come back.
Locking the doors behind you.
Yeah, they did not want us to come back. I mean, everyone had such a rough go at it. It was brutal. So we got escorted out of the school because, I mean, just horrible things were happening all the time.
If there were no cops, you guys would have.
I don't even know what we would have done. Yeah, I don't know what would have happened to the teachers.
You were blinded. It was like, even we were not destructive, but yeah, you throw your papers.
Yeah.
And you clean out your locker and you kind of dump it all on the floor. Mm-hmm. It's mean. You don't think of the janitorial staff. Teachers'
lives were under duress.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I bet a lot of people were like, how is this worth it? Mm-hmm. Must I do this?
And yeah, so
it is weird. Do you think that was just your grade, or like the grade above you was also?
It was my grade.
It was because we had one of those naughty grades. We weren't it, but the grade under us, we were like, get it together, you guys.
Kids would get the shit beaten out of them all the time.
It was, the grade right under me, we thought we were like bad. You know, some people would show up drunk to class in high school.
Yeah.
And, you know, like there's like little things, but these kids were railing lines on the toilet. Mm-hmm. In high school, I was like stealing their parents' pills, and I was like, guys, get it together. And they're like porking in the school. Mm-hmm. I'm like, hey, oh my God.
When I moved schools, it was, you know, that grade was so much more mellow. The bad grade was a couple years older, but like the worst, like people in my grade were vaping in the bathroom.
Sure.
Which honestly, like people got mad about that. I loved it. What do you, I get to walk into the poop room and it smells like mango?
Okay.
Sure.
Honestly. Yeah, fill it with some chemicals. It's probably not worse than the cleaning agents they're using.
No.
It's probably
amen.
It's probably not. Let kids vape. If I stand on anything, it's that.
It's the hill that we will let kids vape.
Let 12-year-olds have little mango puff. Okay, can I have one more?
You can have as many as you want.
Okay, I want one more.
Do you remember? Do you want to refresh?
I want to refresh, please.
Okay. Okay, there was Crush You Like a Bug, the national anthem, which are kind of tied in a way.
Okay.
Pooping in the urinals, lactation, food fights, which we covered, escorted, covered, Wicked, J-Line Singer, Nazis, Concrete Monkeys,
I have it.
Fighting Pimp.
I'm interested in J-Line Singer.
Okay. Again,
if,
I feel bad because you picked ones that were about me.
No.
But
okay. Thank God you're here.
Yeah. So J-Line Singer was an interpretive hip hop dancer that they brought in to do more or less like skits about anti-bullying.
Great.
Through interpretive hip hop dancing.
Huh.
And it was in some ways the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He's still at it. J-Line Singer.
Wow.
And
it is just him. He doesn't have backup dancers or singers.
He has some backup dancers. Okay. Who, much like the dancers of bar and bat mitzvahs, always way too hot to be there. Mm-hmm. Always way anywho. He had background dancers. And I remember during his performance, I had like an existential crisis where because like things were going so horribly at home that I was like, wait, so you're telling me I have to like do sports, do friends, do school, and then I also have to, because that takes up brain space.
Totally.
And then I also have to think about my mom in the hospital, my dad in jail, and that's too much things for a kid to think about.
Definitely.
So at that point in time, I was like, okay, I'm going to compartmentalize and I'm going to not think about this stuff. For now, I'll put it in a box and I'll come back to it later.
We'll unpack that when we need to. Yep.
Never came back to it. Now starting to come back to it in my adult life. But everyone, like, because it was like such a joke, like J-Line Singer in my middle school, everyone like friended him on Facebook and he willingly accepted all of us. And then years later, I'm at Tenafly. I'm a senior. The juniors have a presentation that they're attending. They go to the presentation and it was J-Line Singer.
And because you went to a separate school, you were the only one that had seen him before?
Had seen him before. But also my grade did not see him.
But you knew of him. Okay,
but my friends in the grade then looked him up after the performance and saw that they had kind of one mutual friend with him.
And they're going,
and it was me.
What the fuck is up?
And they thought that I had banged J-Line Singer.
Yeah, because they're like, what are you hiding?
Yeah. What is Max not telling us that he is mutual friends with J-Line?
What are you and J-Line talking about?
And I'm still friends with him on Facebook. It's always nice to check in.
Man, it is such a fun... It's such a fun sort of world to be in, a school performance artist.
I can only imagine. And I think that there's probably a world where that happens to me. I'm not counting that out.
Yes.
If that happens, things aren't crushing.
No, but there's some fun to be had. I get why he's friending you guys back, because he's like, this is my job. It's funny.
This is funny. This is fucking hilarious.
When I was a teacher, I was a middle school teacher.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
In
Connecticut.
Oh, hence.
In Connecticut. Yeah. There it is. And they did an anti-bullying performance, and they were like, we booked someone that knows a lot about bullying, especially cyberbullying.
And like, why do they know that much about it? Because it happened to them.
So, and they booked, do you remember this viral video, My Jeans?
Remind me? I'm sure that you guys
my jeans. Miley Cyrus is wearing my jeans. It's like one of those, like, it's Rebecca Black Friday.
Oh, Jason.
And then there was another one, My Jeans. And she was worse than Rebecca Black. And because I love Rebecca Black now, by the way.
There was something there.
I think her music's really good now, legitimately.
Fine. And she's a DJ now.
Yeah, and she's like funny and she's cool and she's gay. Yeah. And I'm like, no, Rebecca Black's very cool. This girl was getting it bad. It's like those like, just younger hip hop, they like made music videos. And so she comes to perform My Jeans. And this is you know, I knew this viral video well, and I'm supposed to be a teacher, and I'm supposed to be holding it together. And my best friend works with me, and she's been my best friend forever. We happen to work at the same school as a teacher, too. Yeah, very fun. And a bunch of other people that are also our age are teachers, and we know this video very well because we grew up making fun of it. And so, and not only are these middle schoolers flaming the absolute fuck out of this girl as she's performing, because they're nothing to lose, middle schoolers. We're supposed to be getting them together, and my friend and I are turning red, trying not to laugh, and being like, sweating, shaking, being like, oh my God, it's happening. She's here. And the kids can
she's performing an anti-bullying routine.
My God. And the kids, and she has backup dancers. It's just insane.
Yeah, okay, you got J-lined.
We absolutely got J-lined. All the kids are seeing that we're cracking up. They're
makes them laugh harder.
Of course.
You're supposed to be the reason they're not laughing.
It's not okay. But I am like holding my lips together, trying not to laugh at this woman. And she is clearly getting like loudly heckled. It's happening to her again. She's getting bullied.
She's getting walked by the middle schoolers.
Bullied again at an anti-bullying thing. They're yelling. These kids, I can't emphasize enough. Why they shouldn't have had this performance. They're not good kids.
No,
these were bad kids.
It's the wrong place to bring them.
I love them, but they're bad kids. And so she's getting bullied again. She starts getting kind of mad. And after the song is done, she's like, yeah, I mean, it's just, these are kind of the things I'm talking about. And we're like, oh, I have to like turn around.
This is kind of the thing.
I have to turn around because I'm like, oh.
She's going to have to get so meta with it. She's going to have to do an anti-bullying thing about it.
So this is exactly it.
So guys, hey, this right here, that's what I'm talking about.
And then you proved my point. It was really not okay. And I was not on my best behavior. I was really worse than the kids. My best friend, imagine being it just wasn't right. It wasn't right for us.
She had to know that, like, maybe, like, it's just like, oh, it's so tough.
It was just such a stupid song because it's truly like, it's just all about her jeans. And the song is dumb. And it's
Did she sing
funny.
the song there?
Yeah, she sang the song. That's the thing. That's why we were laughing, because we were like, oh my God, she's literally doing my jeans. Miley Hannah Montana is wearing my jeans. It was such a good song.
How old was she?
She's probably 6 years younger than me. So she was maybe like 20 at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe a little less. Poor thing. God. So sorry. But that's how it went down. And I will say one more tangent here is I used to be part of a theater group that would go to high schools and talk about teen issues. Like a DARE group.
Yeah.
But I will say, we never got we were like, honestly, people liked our performances a lot. You're not believing it at all.
You can see.
We didn't get J-lined.
Yeah.
We didn't get J-lined.
No.
The rowdiest school, because we did it at
like what were you was it singing or was it scenes?
Scenes. And you would write them. And we'd write them ourselves.
Yeah.
And you'd go to like a summer program.
Tell me about one of them.
Yeah, we would do it about teen issues. So you could write, but the thing was you couldn't act in any scene that you were affected by. So like alcoholic parent would be a scene that we would do. It's like you're dealing with an alcoholic parent, But he was like, you know, you don't have to tell me, but you cannot act in this if you have an alcoholic parent.
So you're just singling yourself out.
Yeah, but you could kind of be like, oh, I'll take this scene. I'll take this. I'll take the teen pregnancy scene.
Yeah. I don't want to. I can't act in the scene about getting called gay.
Yes. But I will say the juiciest ones were some of the ones that did affect me. And I was like, the part is really good. I'd really like to do the suicidal ideation scene if you don't mind. I'm like, the part is good. Can I get that one? I'm like, he doesn't have to know I actually want to come.
I'm going to win a BAFTA for that.
I need
not an Oscar, but I need people will respect it.
I want to in on that, and I'm not going to let you know that I'm going method on this.
I'm going to go method.
I do not like living, but that's all right. I like performing.
Life's not worth living.
I like performing.
Yeah. Well, that's actually, imagine being told that the one thing you're doing that keeps you alive. They're like, no, sorry.
You can't be in that scene because you actually want to do it. Okay.
We'll
enjoy.
We'll
enjoy.
Okay.
And it's going to come true.
And how sweet it is.
So, I love school performances. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go somewhere else, should we?
Let's journey to lands beyond the ones we know.
We're leaving New Jersey. We're leaving it all to go to Vancouver, Washington. Okay. You been?
Never.
I thought Vancouver was Canada, so this is
but
good.
I bet that, there's a Paris, Texas, and there's a Paris, oh, fuck.
We had London, Kentucky last week, so.
And then there's London,
Texas.
Yes.
I think Texas has a lot. It has Milan, too. Texas has a whole bunch. Okay, this is Vancouver, Washington. Okay, listener says, I met up with a friend I grew up with to catch up after not talking for a bit. She asked me if I had heard about the story that made multiple news outlets about an Arby's manager pissing in the shakes. Okay, this is kind of nutcake. This is kind of nutcake already. Arby's manager pissing in the shakes. And of course I had. Everyone...
and darling.
And don't I know it? Yeah. Everyone and their mother had heard about the Arby's pisser. It's a huge story at the time. And that was talked about everywhere. Once we established...
only the milkshakes, though?
Once we established that I knew the story, my friend asked me if I remember her older brother, which of course I did. She then proceeds to tell me that he was the Arby's manager pissing in the shakes. I was gobsmacked.
I was run amok.
I was bamboozled.
Led astray. Oh.
Apparently, the cops were searching for his phone for other reasons I won't get into. Thank you. And
Holy shit.
We can fill in those blanks. And they not only found what they were initially looking for, but they also found multiple videos of him pissing into shake spinners going back years.
They went years back? How old was she?
I don't know.
Sorry, how old was the brother at the time?
We don't know.
Because, like, if I can still get arrested for the nut thing, would love to cut it. But
no, there's got to be a limitation on this.
Yeah. I'm actually going to Google that.
Yeah, we're going to work on that. He was arrested for pissing in the shakes, among other things. And now I can say I knew who the Arby's pisser was all along. Wow.
Also, I think the most touching thing from that story is that the sister of the Arby's pisser, had processed it so clearly that she was able to talk about it and joke about it. Like, she was like, get this.
So you know the pisser, right?
Get a load of this.
Well, my brother's in jail for that other stuff.
My brother's in jail for the other stuff, but also they weren't happy about that.
The more fun story is the pissing one.
Oh, man, I hate that they... anytime someone's going through a phone, it's...
When the police ask for your phone, that's not good. You're not in a good spot with that.
That reminds me of a story of a good friend of mine from college who went to a high school.
Sure, as many college kids do.
And the person at her high school, someone at her high school took a picture of his butthole and blasted it to the school. And they called it, and everyone knew him affectionately as the Butthole Bandit. And they caught him the day before graduation.
No.
Got his college rescinded and all that stuff.
No.
For a picture of his butthole. You know what? If he had sent it when he was... Oh, no. I was going to say he probably would have been fine if he sent it when he was 17. That's distribution of...
But he couldn't get in trouble with that.
Yeah, but
right?
I don't know. I'm not super clear on the rules on that.
I think the kid doesn't get in trouble. Anyone that
received it.
Yeah, but if it wasn't your fault.
But yeah, the Butthole Bandit ran amok and he got caught at the worst possible time.
Did they catch him by doing a lineup? They made everyone bend over and they said, that's
the guy. That's
the one.
All right, spread?
Spread.
Can you spread?
And that's a little different. That's not it.
Not him.
They did an artist's drawing of it.
So I'm trying to. Oh God, I'm trying to remember.
It's a bummer. Truly, I have heard a lot of friends or friends of friends that just get into the weirdest scenarios because of sending the nudes or like receiving a nude. It's just not a good. I'm grateful that I just didn't do it.
Never sent a nude.
Like not when it would have been a scenario.
Yeah, not when it would have been a whole thing. I mean, there were like that's a thing in high school. I mean, talk about gossip.
Yeah.
Every town has a nude scandal.
I know.
Yeah, and it always gets, or at least around my parts, it was always pinned on the woman. It was like she got in trouble. 100%. She had to skip school.
Why did she send it? Everyone now has seen her because the boys were sending. It was like meant for one person's eyes, and then the boys would send it around.
Never sat right with me.
No. I do think it's especially bad in the age of like we didn't have Snapchat really when I was in high school, but I think the age of Snapchat, my God,
must have. Do you think it saved people or hurt them?
No, hurt.
Okay, but then at least you know that they've saved it. You can be like, hey, what the fuck?
I know,
delete
but then
it.
It was just there were so many more going around, and then that led to just rumors, and then that led to just.
Well, you know what it is? It's the idea in boxing that you're more likely to sustain head damage when you're wearing like a head guard because you feel so comfortable having your hands down, so you get hit in the head so much more often. That's what Snapchat was.
Honestly, I'm vibing with that. That really resonated with me.
Because people are tossing nudes around because they're like, oh, like I'll know.
It won't get saved. It won't get saved. But then it's like, I don't know. It was worse.
But you know what people would do to get around this? These fucks. They wouldn't take screenshots.
They would have
it. Yeah.
Yep. You take another phone.
How desperate.
Yep.
Hey, mom, okay. I was thinking, could we get a new iPhone?
I really gotta save Marissa's boobs. I really gotta.
Just compliment her when she sends them to you, and then she'll let you see them.
True, that
IRL.
is the thing.
Yeah.
Just be normal when you get a nude.
Don't be so desperate to hold on to the picture of the boobs.
The fleeting is the beauty of it. Yes.
There was a girl in my high school. Oh, this is what you want. This is what you want.
This is why we made this podcast.
Yeah. She would send nudes around to basically a mailing list of people in high school.
Yeah.
And she coined it. It was called Nudie Tuesday.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you would get nudes from this woman. And like people would, if someone got a girlfriend, they would have to ask to be taken off the mailing list.
What was her reputation? I mean, she knew what she was.
Yeah, she had stuff going on, and this was how she got through it. But also, like, we loved her.
Yeah,
we loved her for it.
That's kind of the easy A thing where you're like,
she was so unabashed.
Hey, I'm sending a nude. I know what I'm doing.
In middle school, I think she always wanted to be that person because in middle school, me and my buddy, not gonna say his name, he works a very corporate job, but we're in town. Would you go into town after school?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get 7-Eleven.
Especially if it was like an early release day. Yeah, everyone's
you get your Slurpee, you go to the deli, you get your sandwich and hang out. And me and my friend were talking to these, one of the girls was Nudie Tuesday girl, the other was this girl who did get pregnant sophomore year. This is 8th grade. And my friend offhand goes, oh, blow me. You know, as you know, that was the thing people would say. It's like, blow me.
Yeah.
And one of the girls, Nudie Tuesday, goes, we will. And me and my friend were like, you know what? Holy shit. And they were like, meet us behind Zacco's Pizzeria in 20 minutes. So we go to Dunkin' Donuts. We pick up a 6-pack so that,
a good old 6-pack from Dunkin'.
Donuts. We didn't want to show up empty-handed to the blowjobs.
Oh, and my God.
We get there and they show up. And they're like, take off your pants. And we take off our pants. And it was just you two? Me and my friend. Yeah. No, and then they show up. And it's, mind you, next to a dumpster. Because that's where you're getting privacy. And they tell us to take off our pants. We take off our pants. And me and my friend are naked next to each other. And they're like, we don't want to do this. I'm sorry. And we were like, oh, shit. Because we're 100%. So naked. And we were like bartering. We were like, okay.
You could have 4 of the donuts.
What if you just, what if you touch it? What if you touch it? And they were like, yeah, we can touch it. And so they touch it. They touched our wieners and we put our pants back on. And then you said, I'm leaving here with something. We told everyone that we got hand jobs. We told everyone we got hand jobs. It was the talk of the town. And
this is how it spread.
But we knew come Monday, someone would approach someone and be like, we heard you gave Max and this guy hand jobs. And they'd go, No, they're fucking losers.
Yeah. You were like, let us ride it for this just few days.
We touched it because they basically begged us to.
They came in next to the dumpster with donuts.
Yeah.
And they begged us to poke it.
Yeah. So we're sitting in the seats of the cafeteria. The two girls are at the table next to us, and a girl approached them and they go, "We heard you gave Max and this guy hand jobs." And we're like, "Well, this was a great ride."
Yeah.
You know, we had it. And then they go, "Yeah, we did."
Damn, they're good.
Gave them hand jobs, and we were like,
rock.
"Yeah," and we were like, "Oh, we're immortal! We're freaking immortal!" And
it's better than actually getting one.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't. Who cares if we got hand jobs?
The world thinks we got hand jobs.
The world thinks we got hand jobs, and
wow.
So they're
queens.
That was the pizzeria, the dumpster,
absolute
pizzeria.
Queens for that. Mm-hmm. That is just like. To just be so like, whatever. What are you going to call me, slut?
Yeah, I'm going to be pregnant in a year.
You don't know this yet, but I'm about to get pregnant. Yeah, who cares, man?
Yeah, so really cool.
Wow.
And Nudie Tuesday.
Nudie Tuesday rocks.
Oh my God, actually.
Nudie Tuesday really rocks.
Yeah, when we were in high school, the woman, she followed me into a bathroom at a, we were like making out at a New Year's Eve party, and she followed me into the bathroom. Nudie. And she goes, "I will show everyone at this party my boobs if you let me touch your wiener."
So now she's begging.
The
tables have turned.
And I said, "No, thank you."
Show it anyway.
But then she grabbed it.
Oh, sorry. Nudie.
And my nose immediately started bleeding.
Nudie.
Yeah. And then I'm like literally covered in my own blood. I'm like, oh, I don't feel good about that. And then I come out of the bathroom after cleaning myself off.
Yeah.
And on the dance floor of the party, she's getting finger banged.
Nudie. My God, what are we going to do with you, girl?
Yeah.
Nudie, I'm fluctuating here between queen and not queen.
No,
Some of what you're doing is not queen-like.
It was messy. There was a messy aspect to it.
You're very messy, Nudie. I like a lot a lot of sort of self-confidence. I don't love...
Don't love the grabbing.
Just need you to not be
so
be
grabby.
Doing that. Yeah, we'll keep the hands on the self. Wow.
But we're on great terms.
Great.
We're on great terms. Yeah.
My friend group didn't really get much allegations against it because we truly were basically not dating. And when I was dating, it was like I dated like three gay guys in a row. Yes. It just wasn't really causing commotions. Yeah. But my friend did, because she had been dating her boyfriend for like a year. Somehow, I knew what it was. Another girl liked this guy. And she was like, God, they just won't break up. I'm going to spread that they fucked. And this was like freshman year. So it was like not many people were fucking. So it was the talk of the town. She spreads this rumor that they fucked. And my friend was devastated. And the guy, her boyfriend, who's still a good friend of mine, I think was like on a rampage of just like, I know who did it. Don't worry about this. And was like, don't ever say that. And was like really cool about it. Did you know
who?
Yeah, I think we traced it back pretty easily of like, who would care about this aside from this one girl?
Who's obsessed.
Yeah, she's obsessed.
Gagged.
She's gagged about it.
But it made them stronger.
Yeah, and it was just kind of like.
Why did they end up breaking up? Unless they're married.
They're like, no, they're not married, but this was the only other person she ever dated before she now is married.
Yeah, and they're on great terms?
They're on great terms.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like
I dated him too in 8th grade for 3 months. And then he moved to my best friend, and I straight up went, God bless. He's amazing still.
Yeah,
he's
amazing. Enjoy.
I said, oh my God. And it was like a joke of like, oh my God, yeah, he dated... I guess a few of us, but none of us care.
Yeah, because he's just great. He's just such a good guy.
He's a good guy. So sometimes it made him stronger. Sometimes the rumor would work. Sorry, you didn't get what you wanted, jealous girl.
Sorry, jealous girl. Yeah.
All right, we're going back to New Jersey. No. I mean,
sorry. I mean that just inspired such a...
Arby's pisser, you're in... We get your kind.
Yeah.
We get the piss part. We get the piss part.
Yeah.
I think the milkshakes, it's just like kind of...
How did they know? Gross. How did they find? Was someone like...
Well, it seems like he took videos of it.
But they knew about the Arby pisser.
You're right, before the videos.
So did people know because they were like taking sips and they were like...
Piss. What is that? I mean, I was going to say like piss is really
a taste. It has a
taste.
Yeah.
I'm like, if he was coming in the milkshakes, I'd go, you could probably cover that up. But you're pissing in the milkshake. Also, don't come in the milkshakes, obviously.
But like,
obviously, don't come in the milkshake.
You're like, oh, did they malt this? Did they malt this milkshake?
It's like thick flavor. Wow. Yeah. Sorry, Arby's pisser.
It's got like a whopperness to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Arby's pisser is bad.
Yeah.
I wanna take us back to New Jersey at the end here because I've heard a lot about it. I like certain areas that I'm hearing about. I like the dumpster I like, certain areas, but I want to know hometown high. If I'm taking a trip to the towns that you've lived in New Jersey, taking a trip, I'm bringing my girls. We need a weekend of fun. Where should we go?
For a weekend of fun or for like a bite?
Like a bite. What's a place you'd go to?
If I'm in Tenafly, I would take a little drive, maybe like a 12-15 minute drive over to White Manna. It is a slider place, so delicious. Ooh. And it will like literally, you will not move afterwards. Like you'll just have to like sit for a while. That's all they do. Sliders, they do fries, they do milkshakes and like soda, and it's so like you watch them do it in front of you. It's like there's like 4 seats in the whole place. They just grill the onions and the cheese and the burgers. It's so good. Or I would recommend probably my favorite deli in the world is Crossroads Delicatessen. Yeah, they make really good sandwiches. I'm trying to think, like, we grew up pretty there was like some movie theaters that I enjoyed going to, and Westwood has a lot of stuff going on. They have all you can eat sushi. That was where I think that was the birthplace of the where they'll charge you if you don't finish your food. People would go with their purses lined
so they could throw some stuff in.
So they could throw stuff in or out. But I would go to Crossroads or White Manna. Great. Really good.
Okay. Now this is hometown lows. This is like, can't recommend this.
Wouldn't recommend the pizzeria behind Zacco's.
Yeah.
Unless you're ready to see some shit.
I think that one's a multi-generational. People are getting their
Well, it's no longer Zacco's Pizzeria. Oh. It's a new place, but the dumpster, I imagine, remains.
There's something there.
Wouldn't go to Zacco's Pizzeria. Where else would I not go if I am going to my town? Cafe Angelique. Okay. It's delicious. Okay. It's delicious. Oh. But it's overpriced, and you'll walk in there and you'll be like, the vibes. I feel like it's just the vibes are off. Yeah. Too many yoga pants. Yeah. Too many, and worn by everyone, but men and women alike. Just too many yoga pants. Yeah, I would maybe avoid that for the vibes.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a few of those where like truly I've lived in, my family's lived in my hometown for 20 something years. And I've just never been in there because I'm like, why would I spend this much money in my hometown? Yeah. You're kidding me. Who goes there?
Who goes?
Who goes there? Stop. Who goes to Maximia's in Simsbury, Connecticut? I have no idea what goes on there. We do have one overpriced restaurant that is haunted, and that one you have to go to because it's haunted. Well, it's a marketing strategy, I'm sure, but it has been around. Yeah, it's crushing. It's always lined. Parking lot's full. It's called Abigail's, and it has been around, to be clear, since George Washington, and he did stop here on his way somewhere. So, like, to be clear, it is old. This restaurant's old.
If any restaurant's going to be haunted.
And that's kind of what they were banking on, is that they could sell a ghost story because they've been around since the 1700s. So, there's like a picture of a little girl, and it does look creepy, and that's Abigail. And like, you're like, oh, that is creepy.
Already? No, I'm out.
I know. And then sometimes in the bathroom, the lights will go off, and I'm like, yeah, because you've been standing still waiting for a ghost to show up, and the motion sensor light went off. That's probably what I knew. I knew it. And then they have, the carpet has a bump in it on the stairwell, and they're like, that's because there's bones under that. And you're like, what? Bones under the carpet?
Lift it up.
I can actually see that there's not. Yeah. But they have a few little things. And I think, one of those ghost hunter shows went there. And they were like, well, we don't know, because how could they?
Because they have buttons. Also, it would be bad for their brand to consistently be telling places that they don't have ghosts.
Totally. So they're like, oh, we have to make up some ghosts. So that one, really good French onion soup, though. Yeah. So come on. What are you going to do? I'll take
Abigail. You said it's called Abigail's?
It's called Abigail's.
Abigail's in Simsbury.
Yep. So we'll make our way there as we're on our way down to New Jersey. I love the East Coast vibes, by the way. I love a fellow East Coaster. We really did it. Everything is kindred about what you said.
You see, what you saw in me, you saw in you.
It's like looking in a mirror. Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much, Max. Thank you for doing the podcast. Thank you for sharing your life. Where can everybody find you?
You can find me on socials at former teen heartthrob. That is FORMERTENHERARTT HROB.
Yeah.
Former teen heartthrob on TikTok, Instagram, and if you go to YouTube, you won't find much, but thanks for visiting.
Get over there. Come on. Thank you, Max, and thank you, listeners. Bye. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to this episode of Town Gossip. Make sure to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at Town Gossip Podcast and TikTok at Town Gossip. If you have any town gossip from your hometown, email us at towngossippodcast@gmail.com for a chance to be featured.